A good dynamic warm-up is important in any sport. It not only warms up the body by increasing the heart rate and blood flow, but also helps with flexibility and stretches out the muscles while keeping your body warm, unlike static stretching alone. Altogether, it helps decrease the player's risk of injury while getting them focused. To do this, all you need is about 10 to 15 yards of space. You'll do each exercise going one way and then jog back to the start. Raise your knee up and hug it into your chest while rising up on the toe of your opposite foot. Repeat with each side. You should feel this in your hip flexors. For this one, you'll start backwards. Pick one knee up and raise it to your chest. Now, in one motion, lean forward while extending that brought up knee backwards. In the same motion, you should also be bringing your arms out straight in front of you. You should end in a T shape. Make sure to keep your back level while doing this and not tilt to one side. Raise your knee up to 90 degrees in front of your body, then rotate it out to the side so that it is parallel with the rest of your body. Repeat with the other side. This is good for opening up the hip muscles. You can do this exercise both going forwards and backwards. This one is basically hip openers in reverse. You'll start with your knee raised up at 90 degrees to the side of your body and bring it in front of you. Rotate legs each time. The best way to start learning this one is to start in a stationary position. Start bouncing on your toes and raise one knee up to 90 degrees in front of you. Now, lower that leg back down so that it almost touches the floor and raise that knee back up to the outside as you are ending a hip opener. You should move forward very slowly in this, taking small steps as you bounce forward and alternate legs. Start off slow for this one as well. Start with one leg a couple inches off the ground, a few inches in front of you. Now with that foot, you want your toe pointed up. With the other foot that is on the ground, you're going to push yourself up, and then as you come down to land on the opposite foot, snap the toe down. Push yourself back up with that foot, and alternate going back and forth. You should be going just as far up as you are forward. Step forward and lower yourself down so that your front knee makes a 90-degree angle. Make sure that your knee stays over your ankle. Your back knee should almost be touching the ground. Once in this position, you're going to rotate your torso to the leg that is up in front of you. Switch legs and continue forward. This is the same as the forward lunge, just in reverse. Take a step backwards, ensuring that your front leg makes a 90-degree angle and that your knee stays over your ankle. Again, your back knee should almost be touching the ground. Instead of rotating, this time you're going to reach back up straight with your arms, stretching through the core as you go back. Start with your legs farther than shoulder width apart. You're going to shift your weight back as if you're going to sit down. When doing this, you'll make sure that you keep the front leg bent at a 90-degree angle with your knee over your ankle. The back leg will be trailing straight. This one may take a little while to get your balance correct. This is pretty much normal skipping. You'll push yourself off your back leg while raising your knee up of the other leg into your chest. Make sure to use your arms to propel yourself forward. This is more of an explosive movement with your knee, not an exaggerated skip where you're trying to get as high as you can. Same thing as a front skip, just now backwards. You're going to start by propelling yourself off your toe, raising the one knee up in front. Make sure to keep pumping your arms to propel yourself forward. For this one, it is best to start standing on one foot with your other knee raised up to 90 degrees. You're going to take your opposite arm and have it pumped ready in front of you as if you were running. Now as you drop the knee that is raised, you're going to pump back with that arm and raise up your opposite leg and opposite arm now in front of you. Once you finish and jog back, make sure to flip around and do the opposite side.
Start by bending down to touch your toes. Now you're going to slowly walk your hands out from your feet until you're in a plank position. Drop your core down towards the ground and stretch up in a cobra position. Now from then, you're going to go back up into a plank position. Then you're going to walk your feet back into your hands and continue on to the next one.
This is a multi-step exercise. Start by going out into a deep lunge so that your front knee is bent at a 90-degree angle and your other leg should be extended straight out behind you. Now put the hand of the arm opposite the leg you have in front of you on the ground. Drop your other elbow down, trying to touch it to the ground. Then rotate that arm up and reach for the sky. Place that arm back on the ground and rotate with the other arm, trying to reach up as high as you can to stretch through the core. Now, place both hands back on the ground and rock back so that you are on the heel of your front foot and toe of your back foot. Switch front legs and continue on.
Take a half to quarter step forward and point the toe up of the forward foot. Sweep your hands beside your foot. You should feel a stretch in your calves.
Raise your hands above your head and take a step forward as you kick up as high as you can with your opposite leg. Alternate legs. Make sure to keep your core tight and that you're not bending at your back. Standing straight, bend one knee so that you bring your ankle up to your butt. Grab your ankle, bend down to touch your toes with the opposite hand. Make sure to balance yourself during this. This one you're going to pivot down, standing on one leg and extending your other leg back behind you straight. Once in this position, you should look somewhat like a T. Reach your arms down to your foot. You should feel the stretch through your hamstring.